So today we are chatting about a question I hear a lot and get asked myself a lot, and that is when to book a day of coordinator. So we are going to hop into the specifics about when, what they can do for you, and some other helpful information all coming up. Hello, and welcome to the channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you are not. My name is Kayla, and I'm the owner and lead wedding planner here at Transformed Events, where we help DIY couples to ball out on a budget. So you decided not to get a full wedding planner, but you did decide to get a wedding coordinator, go you, to help the day run smoothly so that you can be stress-free. So when should you book this person? Well, as with any wedding vendor category, I always say to my clients to get the vendors booked as soon as you can. When you are planning a wedding, you want to start with the high level details and then slowly make your way into the weeds. But the problem is that many people get themselves caught up in jumping straight into the fun details and neglecting the sort of big picture and then get caught in a tight spot later on. And I don't want that for you. The vendors are also going to have the biggest way and impact on your budget and what's left of it to do different things that you may want to do. So you want to commit to those higher amounts of money first to be able to accurately know what you're left to work with instead of, let's say, for example, you buy things for your bridesmaids proposal boxes, which is typically a lower ticket item than to spend too much on that item. And then you have to end up finding a cheaper DJ because you ate into that line item on the budget, right? Does that make sense? It's going to be easier from a financial standpoint to find items for the proposal boxes that cost less than it will be to find another great DJ with the same quality that costs less. So you see what I mean there? So anyway, back to day of coordinator. When specifically should you book them? I would say a really good sweet spot is between that 1 year to 8 months away mark. And that is because a good day of coordinator, number one, is going to book in advance. So for example, I already have people inquiring for 2025 dates for me, and it's only January of 2024. So you want to look for that person in advance because chances are they're going to be booking in advance. If there's someone that maybe came highly recommended to you from a friend, or maybe that you've been Insta stalking for some time and you're already pretty confident that you want to work with them, I would say to pounce on them because chances are other couples have also gotten great recommendations for them. Other couples have also been stalking them, and you want to give yourself the best possible chance to get the vendors that you want the most. I've even had people book me 2 years in advance for coordination because I did their friend's wedding. They were there. They saw how great of a job my team did, and they were sold. And they literally messaged me the next day saying, I'm ready to book you. However, I give that range between 8 months to a year for very specific reasons. So let's get into those. So first and foremost, if you book someone too far in advance, you do run the risk of feeling like less of a priority to them. And this is really a fine line that we as vendors have to walk all the time because we obviously want your business, we want your money, but if it's too far in advance, you are in a sense on the back burner of our plate because there's just nothing for us to do together until we start getting closer to the wedding. So for example, if someone hired me to plan their whole wedding, that package looks a lot different than just a coordination package. And for every planner and day of coordinator, it looks different. But for me, planning starts immediately after you hire me because we have a lot to do, right? We're planning the whole wedding together. But for my coordination only couples, that package doesn't start working with me until 3 months before their wedding. And of course, they're on my email list, which, quick side shameless plug, you should be on as well to get free tips and tricks right into your inbox. The link is in the description box below. So they're on my email list, and I send follow-ups periodically like, hey, how are you? How's it going? Do you have any questions? Stuff like that. But in general, if you book too far in advance, it can kind of feel strange to not be in communication with that person very often. And it can make you think that you're not important to them when in reality, it's just not the time for you to start working together yet. And then secondly, I advise 8 months as a sort of better sweet spot because contrary to the previous point, you'll start working together sooner, but you'll also have the opportunity to use that person as a resource throughout your planning journey rather than trying to bring them in at the last minute and get caught up to speed if, say, it's only 4 months until your wedding, right? So for example, I provide my clients with my recommended vendors list. So if they're still looking for any vendors when they book me, they can go there, they can see who I trust, who I've loved working with before, that kind of thing. And then any of my clients can also and do also send me just random emails with questions, and I'm more than happy to provide my professional guidance and recommendations for them Whereas if they waited to book me, they would have had to go to Google or figure it out themselves, right? So booking sooner than later will really help your day of coordinator to be more involved in the process, even though they're not planning the wedding with you. It gives you just more time to build up that history, build up that rapport, use them as a resource for you to be able to trust them more, and just generally create a more sort of collaborative and communicative working process and relationship. Whereas many couples who wait to book their day of coordinator until closer to the wedding date find themselves sort of mistrusting of that person, hard to relinquish that control, and it's a bit more of a work-client relationship, at least in my experience, because we didn't have as much time for the sort of fun, cutesy, get to know you type of things, and we needed to jump right into business because we were on a crunch timeline, right? And then finally, I have a ton of different smaller add-on services for my couples, and having a longer time when they book me allows them to access those different add-ons, whereas shorter time frame couples might not be able to take advantage of those. So for example, let's say one of my couples is like, I don't want to have to worry about tracking and managing RSVPs. I don't want to have to follow up with people and ask if they're coming, blah, blah, blah. It's just too much. Well, I actually have a service that's an add-on where we can take that off your plate if you would like us to, but it needs to be prepared ahead of time because there are other vendors that are involved, like the catering team, the DJ. We need to have a lot of conversations about what you want on your RSVP form, what you don't want, the logistics of how people are going to RSVP. And unfortunately, we can't squeeze that in and take that off of someone's plate 2 months before the wedding because prep was needed to already have gone into that before that time period. So you never know what else your day of coordinator can assist you with, like smaller tasks during your planning journey to take stress off your plate if you don't book them ahead of time. But at the end of the day, this person is literally the one responsible and in charge of making sure that your wedding day goes smoothly and that problems are taken care of without you ever having to know about them, hopefully. They're managing all of your other vendors, they're talking to your friends and family, and they're doing so much more that you would probably never know about. So why would you want to leave that huge responsibility in your wedding planning timeline, right? Why would you want to leave that gap there? It puts all of your other investments and parts of your wedding day at risk to just throw that onto someone at the last minute versus having that prep time to get to know them, to get to trust them, all that kind of good stuff. So to recap, 8 months to a year is a pretty good time frame to find and book someone and get comfortable with them, to utilize them to their full potential and all that other good stuff so that you can be as relaxed and stress-free as possible during this time. And if you happen to be in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia, or Southern Pennsylvania area, I would love to serve you by having my team make sure your wedding day goes smoothly. So there is a link in the description box to contact us. I'd love to just set up a quick chat and see if we are a good fit for one another. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!